Before we start, we have Professor Ramakrishnan from IIT Madras, who is always our source of inspiration and encouraging personality. As Professor Raghavan said yesterday, we were working as a biomedical team to cater the requirements of day-to-day affairs. But after the interface with Professor Ramakrishnan, especially Professor Karthik has been recruited from 2018. So our transformation towards research was totally different. Okay, we had started, but we do not know, like football player will take the ball, move around, but we do not know how to hit a goal. So that was how when we initiated with Professor Raghavan, we were instrumental, and we were submitted Center of Excellence in Biomedical Engineering to Ministry of Human Resources. But what is the research? So everybody started asking what was the research, how NIT is going to proceed forward. So at that time, we were thinking of some innovative thoughts. At that time, thanks to then director, we recruited Professor Karthik to our department. The entire transformation towards research has been changed. The way, as said by Professor Raghavan, we could bring many eminent personality here, but how to transform this for education? That was a very interesting challenge for us. So Karthik had played a very important critical role. That's because of his guide, Professor Ramakrishnan was keenly mentoring Karthik, and because of his consistent effort, we could see that by and large we could have a very successful laboratory established in Department of ICE. At our own hospital, we have our own lab, and we could able to create a computing center facility for all this was possible because of the nurturing research. So as a young mindset, yesterday the dean of Trichy Medical College was here. Yesterday night he talked to me and said he was very happy to see many young people. You are admitting many young people for this workshop. So before and all, when we were doing faculty development program, only faculties were allowed, not students. This is being an international workshop. We want many students to be working, because now the colleges are also more. Many biomedical colleges are more. At that time, only one or two institutions. But now you see, nurturing of research has been seen. So I could see that would help for a very creative thinking. So I once again request Professor Ramakrishnan sir to be here. Before we start, I request Professor Raghavan to present a memento to Professor Ramakrishnan sir. But many minutes, since 5 years, I have got lots of admiration by him. I have got more admiration to him than to Dr. NSK. So many things. You also may not know. First of all, you should know the history of yesterday's doctor, Kumaravi. அவரை பத்தி நல்லா தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும். அவரோட அப்பா யாருன்னு சொன்னா நீங்க அழுதுருவாங்க. அதனால நான் சொல்லல. But everyone should know the history of Dr. Kumaravel, how he came to his position. Then what I know about him was he did a very big research in MTech, PhD. Then he had gone to German. Many things what our NIT staff do not have it. Very frankly, I tell. And
Today only I came to know the reason for that. And two friends were talking. And one is he, the other is his guide. Can you ever see in your life a guide behaving in such a friendly way? And he is no other than biomedical stalwart Dr. Ramakrishnan. Give him a big hand. Today I understood. Last 10 minutes I came to know why he has gone up to the top level. Really, yesterday, 1.5 hours, I listened his muzzle speech. Fantastic. I don't know whether he has prepared for you or it was his work. In any case, you are all really lucky. I do not know how many more persons you are going to see. The topmost person, I can very well say, in this session, this 5 days session, the topmost person, local person, none other than Israel is top. But outside speaker, definitely I tell you, even if Dr. MSK scolds me, I don't bother. His talk is going to be the best. You, yeah, big hands back. I'm really honored to give this to you, Frank. It's our honor, sir. Okay. All of you, with the permission of Dr. MSK, I want to don't just decide what you are saying. Yesterday, you should have asked Dr. Sparky. How can we go to all the way?
அவர்தான் இங்க போகணும்.
So now we should ask Dr. Ramakrishna how to go to the world with the biomedical. Now, all the things. We can the best of our biomedical. Those are three in our biomedical center. 50 letters from Dr. NSK. Everything there. So that's another example for both the world. Both inside the theater, operation theater. We can so last 1 more minute. I can go to any operation theater in the world because I am a member of Telemedicine Society of India. Not the Telemedicine Society of India. You can know the world. Because don't say the biomedical school. Not a small girl that is the medical process. Is the biomedical technology. What's the word? The people are doctors maintain. Maintain what degree which that. You don't want money, you can't doubt them. Anyway, thanks. The last for giving me the chance.
Okay. Thanks, Shiva, Karthik, and Raghavan sir, for your very kind words. So it's so nice of you that you are, putting us log pedals and other things. But when I started my research in IIT Madras, Raghavan sir was doing very well here. He is identified as in the Department of Electronics as biomedical engineer. So he was a pioneer in doing work in medical electronics, and it's nice to have him here. What is that?
Please excuse me. I will be living in for another 2 years only, so I should have this photo at all. Okay, one more thing. He is also my friend. His son has got by merit postgraduate medical kind of subject. Am I correct?
Yeah.
That's
Thank you. Um, okay. Thank you. It's a very after a long time, after a class, I'm seeing heterogeneous group. So it's very nice to talk to all of you and other things. I don't know how many of you are into biomedical engineering research, but then I will try to start, give you some glimpses of what is most important in the area of biomedical engineering in the world, especially in India now. So most important aspects of biomedical engineering, especially in India. Okay. I'll just give you 10-15 minutes. I have one of my friends who is in UK and he is luckily here in India, and he works on the standards and regulations. I will ask him to make a presentation so that he is leaving. Then we will have the plan like that. Okay. So what if you take any device? If you take any medical device, you use medical device by definition could be anything. It could be your kerchief, your cotton, your MR machine, anything. It's not the size. It's a device. It's a medical device. It's any device, any instrument or apparatus or a device. It's called a medical device when its intended purpose is only medical purpose, diagnostics, treatment, and monitoring. The intended purpose is important. This thing. Okay, it's a medical device. Your mobile phone could be a medical device, and if you cannot use it for making phone calls. If you don't use it for making phone calls, you use it only to make images of the skin for cancer diagnostics, then it's a medical device. Otherwise, it's not a medical device. So mobile phones can be classified as a medical device only when its intended purpose is for medical things. It's very difficult to differentiate this. Then you have a mobile phone, you can use it for a medical device as a medical device. But then what is that? Can we allow it to use it for medical purposes? That who will decide that? Then there are two bodies that they will decide. One is the government. The another one is the standards organization. One is the government, which make a rule, which make the rule a legal. They make a legal. All your usage of medical devices legal purposes. Then technology is standards. So the most important thing now is every day it's being realized that regulations and standards are two important areas of research and biomedical engineering, especially if you take startups. If you take most of the startups, if you take in India, around 50 to 60% are healthcare startups. Then comes the fintechs, communication, and other things. So among all that, only 6% of the total 100% of medical device startups, they fail because they don't adhere to regulations and standards. This is the situation now. So now, if you want to market a medical device in India until last 2 years, you have to follow a law called Cosmetics, Indian Cosmetics Act 1945. Will you believe it? We were following the Indian Cosmetics Act 1945, which is drug. It's a cosmetic, it's a drug, medical devices. After a long fight, now we have a separate divisions in the government for medical devices and drugs. They have separated. Now we have medical devices. They introduce regulations in India. In 2017, they introduced medical device regulations and standard. So many of them, why there should be a regulations and standards in the medical device. If you look at why there is a need for standards and medical devices. The most important thing is that it should be always functional. Any device, if you take, it should be always functional. That's the most important thing. What we mean by functional is that it is safe. The functional definition for medical device, if you say that always functional, it is always safe to use. Number one, it is always safe. Madan, I think, okay. It is always so safe, and it has to be used for only the intended purpose. It has to be used for the intended purpose. There is a small pencil, they use it to mark when they record EEG, right? So that you cannot use it for anything else. You should use it only for that. That's an intended purpose. The license for that to use only for that. Okay. So intended purpose. If you take a mobile phone and say that intended purpose is to establish communication between 2 points separated by a distance. That's an objective of a mobile phone, intended purpose. Making images, video call, video, and generating videos and other things are not intended purposes. It's a non-functional requirement. Functional requirement is to establish communication between 2 points. So it's a functional requirement, and the intended purpose has to be this thing. Okay, so this is the device. So medical devices are then classified as class 1, 2, 3, and different types of classification depends on the risk on using the medical device. The risk-based classification is that India has introduced, and if you want to put any device into market, you have to take care of 4 aspects on that. You have to take care of essentially 4 aspects. What is one? Is whether this device is electrically safe to use on a human being or in this environment. If you use an environment, if you have some other equipments, there will be a noise, EMI and other things. Number 1, you have to make sure that it is electrically safe. You have to adopt some standard. It's called 60601. And then the second aspect is it should be biocompatible. Yeah, there are some tests. Second test should be biocompatible. Biocompatibility means it can be used either inside or outside. That depends on the duration, type of device, nature of output, and other things. The third thing is that manufacturability, the quality of the medical device. The third is the quality of the medical device. Okay, it's called manufacturable standards. The fourth one is risk, the risk management. Whether all you have to have how you can manage the risk of the device if something happens. These 4 important things are on the part of your standards and regulations. Okay, I think I will ask my colleague Mr. Madhavan to speak on this quality of medical device. How this quality of medical device you can assess, right? Madhavan.
Hello, sir.
Uh,
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah, I can. I'm able to hear. I'm not
sure.
sure.
You can take the dice. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I would like to share my screen actually. So. Are you able to see the screen, sir?
Yes.
Hello.
Sorry, you're audible.
Can anyone give me the sharing authorization?
Yeah, Professor, you can share on the screen now. You see, yeah, we can able to see your presentation, Professor.
Okay, great. Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's been an honor and pleasure to meet you all and share my feedback. And thanks to Professor Ramakrishnan, who was a guiding light for me. So I would like to restrict, as Professor has already briefed on the medical regulatory landscape. I would like to restrict the topic to the MDSAP, which is a medical device single audit program on the manufacturers, so which will give a good understanding of the success of the program and how the developed countries utilize this program and to control the manufacturers to have a safe and effective device on the ground. Just to give a basic intro of myself, I work for the Medicines and Healthcare Regulatory Agency, MHRA, in the UK as a regulatory affairs specialist, and we perform direct audits on the manufacturers. We receive feedbacks on the failing devices and death cases and any serious high risk cases, which including a delay in the surgery, a timeline. If a surgery is supposed to be over by 3 hours, but due to any medical device issues and failures and poor performances, that leads to an extended surgery time is also reported. And depending on the seriousness of the issue, we initially asked the manufacturers to raise an advisory notice or a market recall actions, and then we will see how the manufacturer responds to our feedback. Generally, big groups should automatically raise a recall notice or advisory notice on behalf of those lots or the malfunctioning devices that's already there in the market. And if they fail to do so, or if they delay to do so, then we jump in, and then we meet. If still the action is inadequate, we meet the representatives and have an initial discussion on the rationale behind the non-action. And otherwise, we visit them on site, sometimes announced and sometimes unannounced. So it's a sort of a consortium, the regulatory framework that all we developed with other regulators such as FDA, Australia's TGA, and Health Canada, and so forth. So we get a constant feedback on the function of the device anywhere in the world, and which triggers us to act on them on a very consistent basis, irrespective of the nature and size of the organization. I also work as a UK expert on MDSAP. Basically, UK is now an official observer, and we are trying to become a full member. But in the meantime, I'm leading the UK team to represent UK and our concerns in terms of the safe and effective device being regulated into the standard itself. And I'm also a member of the ISO 13485 technical committee to see what to TC 210, which works on the updated requirements, as the industry grows, like artificial intelligence and so forth. And I'm also a member of the IMDRF working group on the Good Regulatory Reliance program, which we develop by participating regulators around the world, which includes almost most of the countries in the world. And also I work on the working group on the new standard of QMS, ISO 13485. And also I'm a member of the BSI, British Standards Committee as well. So it's a brief work on so far the actions done. And as an introduction, the regulatory oversight on market access has evolved. As we had you would have heard the breast implant failed case in 2012, which triggered a universal introduction of an unannounced audit by the approved bodies on the manufacturer. Basically, what happened was a breast implant, they used an approved PVC where the design dossier of a implant was approved by the notified bodies, but the manufacturer only showed the approved design, the raw material used only at the time of audit. And once the auditors leave, they use cheap grade, low grade polyvinyl chloride or other raw materials to gain advantage in the market. So that resulted in a death case in which eventually across Europe, it was decided that having an on-site unannounced audit is not just good enough. And except for class 1 devices, for all higher class devices, it was in practice since 2014 to perform one visit per year per device. of a manufacturer. So that made a big regulatory change. And as the regulators, we constantly get the feedback on the market, get our interactions with the hospitals and the surgeons around the world on a constant touch with the developments, the failures, the learnings, and how as a regulator we can exercise oversight and also control and also make the device available for patients for use. We should not deliberately the delay the design or an approval for an initial concept. So we also help manufacturers to come up with new ideas, pass all the gates. We straightforward, we approve if the device is very much patient friendly, patient use purposes. And as we know, Europe is being regulated by the EU MDR, medical device regulations. UK is controlled by UK CE mark, and various countries use ISO 13485 based approvals for them to get into the market. And MDSAP is one of the world's growing choice for legal manufacturers, because this is a conglomeration of 5 regulatory affairs council, 5 countries, which is initiated and led by USA, Canada, Japan, Brazil, and Australia. And there is a website which I've just shared. I'll share this presentation to Professor Ramakrishnan, so you can have a copy of that later. So there's a global program website which you can go through for a much detailed versions. So basically, Regulatory Authorities Council is the decision-making body of the MDSAP, and it consists of the full-time members, which currently are the 5 countries, and it's led by TGA Australia for this year until this year, and from the next couple of years will be led by US FDA, and it revolves around the 5 full member countries. As a small timeline, it started on 2012 by the IMDRF on a creation of a single audit program, because every country has their own requirements, and these were all the aligned decisions by the 4 countries initially to restrict audits. It's been a voluminous effort for USA or even any country to audit manufacturers by themselves. So still USA has that control of approving a device, approving a manufacturer's facility by themselves, but they use this platform to reduce inspections, to ease, to make the device to come into the market faster. And then initially it started with the development of this. The structure of the QMS is the same, ISO 13485 2016 structure, but an add-on regulatory country-specific requirements are given as tasks where the manufacturers need to abide. And Japan joined in 2015, and then from 2019, Canada implemented in full from 1st January, and then from 2020 onwards, the RAC started accepting applications for affiliate members. So currently, we discussed on the full-time members already. The official observers are World Health Organization, United Nations, EU is an official observer, UK is an official observer, and Singapore. So we 4 are currently an official observer status. You need to have at least 2 years being an affiliate member before being an official observer. But as far as UK is concerned, it's been an official observer since its beginning. There are other affiliate members as well. Just to have a quick look on the official affiliate members. So Taiwan, Korea, Israel, Argentina, Mexico, Kenya, and South Africa. So these are the countries currently in affiliate status. So once they started using the program effectively into their regulatory approvals, then they will take the next step forward. The objective of the MDSAP is to operate a single program, so that gives confidence to the patient, the manufacturers, and also the regulators. So to enable the appropriate regulatory oversight, the MDSAP controls a complete certificate and also the site-specific activity-based control. So if a legal manufacturer designs, manufactures, and supplies a product, but a design can happen in India, manufacturing can happen in China, and servicing or installation or maintenance could happen from anywhere in the world. So the complete control, the activity-based approval happens at the RAC. We have a strong control on each and every audit being done, certificate being issued, facility being approved. And to promote more efficient and flexible use of regulatory resources through sharing of work, basically this means all these 5 countries use the other regulators' time to audit them, to help them ease the workload. So we as UK, we also observe those audits. We do not directly participate, but we support them in observing those approved bodies as well as manufacturers. And to promote in the long term greater alignment of regulatory approaches and technical requirements globally based on international standards and best practices. So there are 2 elements to the MDSAP program. One is approving an auditing organization and approving a manufacturer. So the auditing organization audit happens. It's being conducted by the team of these 5 regulatory affairs council full-time member countries, and it's based on ISO 17021 and IMDRF N3 and N4 requirements. And we audit the auditing organization at their headquarters on their functions, management, commitment, business risks, and all those stuff, and also on the on-site of how these auditing organizations perform their audit of the manufacturer in terms of assessing the manufacturer's management system and use of their external resources and competence, and how do they manage the certification decision. So this was one first bit of the action. Once we approve, there are at least 3 sample audits done on the initial application of an auditing organization. So it could take a year by the time all 3 witnesses are completed, and it will be designated at the successful completion of the witness audit by the RAC on the AO. And once the AO is approved as designated, and they can start carrying out audits and issue certificates of a manufacturer, and that is based on the ISO 13485 requirement and the country-specific requirements of these full-time member countries. So if a manufacturer, let's say Johnson & Johnson, decide only to sell in USA and Japan, not in Brazil yet, and they may choose to go only for getting the US and Japan approval as they work on the other country, Canada or Brazil or Australian approval. So it's based on the legal manufacturer's choice of countries. But once they have a formal signed agreement with the auditing organization, then the AO performs based on 13485 plus country specific requirement with an MDSAP audit approach, which is basically focused on management, measurement analysis, design and development, production, and purchasing. And in addition to that, the 3 other bits, which is market authorization and facility registration, adverse event and advisory notice reporting. And these are the criteria which is exclusively audited by the MDSAP program, which benefits manufacturers as well as regulators across the world. So in short, how these countries use MDSAP, Japan has a market authorization holder. They need to submit an MDSAP report to the PMDA, the department, and the MDSAP audit has to happen based on the Ministerial Ordinance 169, which is nothing but 13485 requirements. And PMDA accepts the initial and recertification audit reports, reviews that, and then choose whether to visit on-site again by PMDA prior to approval or not. So for high-risk devices, class 3 and 2B implantables, they do visit in addition to the MDSAP. But for those low-risk devices, this MDSAP report helps them to get initial approval first, enter into the market, start selling, start doing business, and then the PMDA will take cognizance of that. Brazil also, Anvisa is the Brazilian regulatory body, and which accepts the report. Basically, Brazil requires a GMP approval for each of those sites for higher class devices. And based on MDSAP report, the Brazil Anvisa issues GMP first before conducting an on-site visit. So previously, the Anvisa has to visit the manufacturer to issue a GMP, and then the manufacturer can start selling the product. So, but at least it helps the manufacturer to quickly enter into the market. USA has evaluations based on to reduce on-field inspections, and especially for low-risk devices, they have literally started accepting the MDSAP reports as part of the manufacturer's submission to avoid an FDA visit. Australia also used the MDSAP reports as a QMS compliance on each of those facilities. So this really helped all those regulators involved. Just a quick number. So far, since 2019, basically in just six years' time, 31,000 over audits have been conducted. There are 15 auditing organizations that are approved to conduct audits, and there are 82 countries where the MDSAP audits have occurred, and 7,000 over certificate the facilities has been issued. So the issuance of this facility forms a very critical aspect just for us to understand, because let's say if Johnson & Johnson has a very high risk, they make 10, 12, 20 numbers of devices, all of them high risk, let's say. But if we have an issue of one high risk device on a particular facility, if they may have 4 or 5 sites making the same device in their facilities. So this approved facility number facilitates the regulators to straight away go into the site, in as quickly as possible. So, and also removal, addition of any activity, of any change of raw material, of anything that is to be changed has to be reported to the auditing organization, which in turn reports to the RAC for us to have a control. So we have a live monitoring control of what the device is manufactured, what is the design of the device, how does it function, what is the intended use, what are all the clinical evaluation reports that we have got, what are the feedbacks, are they in line with the market that they aim for, that the performance claim is for. So all those aspects are very much in our control rather than the manufacturer's control to place those devices on the market. Yeah, that's just a quick feedback from me. Any questions and answers, please feel free to share. Thank you.
What is the criteria to become any countries to become a member of this MDSAP?
Yeah, there is any country can, it has to be a country's national regulatory body, and that body has to have a national regulation already been in place for a particular act or whatever. And so these are the 2 criteria. First is the parliament should have enacted an act which corresponds to the existence of the department, and then the concerned regulatory department can apply to be a member. So they have to quote what is the exact act based on which they operate as a regulator in that country.
Thank you.
Actually, you have this add something here. Is there a microphone somewhere?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to hear.
All right, I'll just walk up to the microphone.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes, sir, yes.
All right, and I'm Dinesh, by the way. I'm besides other things, I also sit on the TGA in Melbourne, in Australia.
Brilliant. Yep.
And one small little thing which perhaps your presentation did not know, because that's been a recent change. The focus in TGA is no longer about the design of the equipment, etc. It is all about clinical relevance and clinical benefits and patient benefits. So the PROMs and the ClinRO are the main measures of the device. And again, that comes not only for the earlier approval, but also for the audits,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
right? So which is a little different, I believe, than what is happening in Europe or UK, which are often based upon the technical advancements of the device.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In UK, it's about the post-market surveillance, basically. It could be clinical evaluation, or it could be any adverse events reported, so on and so forth. So, yeah, that's something similar. Yeah.
So it's kind of, I think they're all going in the same direction. And I think the second is in regards to the membership, I believe that while there is one thing that the country should have on an official regulatory body, I think there is another, which is that it should have proven success or proven something that, in other words, it's not just there as a showpiece, it's actually doing some work. Because there are lots of other places which have got a regulatory body which is non-functional.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Okay. So it should be
but
aligned.
I could not confirm that, but I believe that there is a subjective matter on that level.
Yeah.
That a country which is supposed to have the facilities and the functionalities.
Absolutely. I mean, there's been a lot of interest shown by other world countries to join the forum, to be members, and that's the RAC's approach in that context, that we should not end up after having an approved country and then it lacks the constitutional right for those bodies to perform. So that's why they have added in the application form. If you look at it clearly states which of those acts or regulations that your department or your function is based on.
Yep. No, I think we are good. Thank you. What time is it in the UK right now? Must be bloody early in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right now in India, so I'm on my holiday, and I just happened to meet my friend and was very kind enough to spare.
So then you are not. Then we don't have to really thank you for being at an awkward time right now.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I think we can all give you a hand.
Okay, sir, thank you very much for your time and valuable information. Okay, yeah. I think we have a coffee break there.
Yes.
Or do we just
10:50. 10:50.
give it 15 minutes more?
What? And let's get started.
Okay. Okay. You have and only that someone who bring it there on it. He's a big guy, can see.
Now I can connect this. It works directly. Okay. Yeah, tell me. If you want to have a tea now, then we can start later. If you want to have tea later, we can start now. You tell me. It looks like tea has come. So I guess we'll delay this for another 10 minutes, 15 minutes? 15 minutes? 15 minutes it is. Are you good for that? Everyone wants a cup of tea? Okay, good.
time I might